Welcome to the Dan Stevens Show. Thanks for taking the time out to come and check this out. First time here, very welcome. Regular listeners and viewers, very welcome. Thanks for being here. Great to be with you. Today I'm going to be going back to an old tradition, which a lot of you might be familiar with. It was the first 70 or 80 episodes of the show when it was called The Truth Is In There, which is the former name of this podcast. I'm going to go through my Google searches. You just never know what will come from a Google search. It tells a story. It says something about what you were thinking about at the time. It says something about were you going somewhere? What were you doing? What were you thinking? So to me, it's like a little diary, my Google searches. Anyway, in saying that, the first Google search was health benefits of walking barefoot. I've been getting an urge to walk barefoot recently. Now, I know middle of winter, not a great time. Cold toes would probably be a problem. And the first thing I thought about was the dangers of walking around in public barefoot. Now, social judgment, that's a big one. You would get a lot of strange looks. Like, when I'm walking around in shorts when it's cold, I get strange looks from older people in particular. I had a man of Indian origin absolutely staring me out of it one day in the Blanchardstown shopping centre as I walked by, to the point where I said, "What are you looking at?" Absolutely staring at my legs. And this was indoors. And I caught him and I said, "What are you looking at?" And he's like, oh, didn't even apologise. Maybe he just liked my legs, I don't know, but people would be... I looked it up and there's no laws against walking around barefoot. There is... You couldn't get into a nightclub with your... Who would want to... I don't think the type of people that would walk barefoot would be the type of people that would go to nightclubs anyway. Nightclubs, whatever that is now, I don't know. House clubs, they're more house techno clubs now, aren't they? Back in my day. Glass is a danger. You don't want to cut your foot. You don't want it to get infected. I think stepping in shit, dog shit or human. In fairness though, it's usually when the shit gets in between the crack of the shoe, isn't it? That's the real problem. You have to... A matchstick is great for that. For getting that out concurrently with really hot water. A matchstick. But my hot water is fed from a little water tank, so I only have a certain amount of time before it goes cold. Glass, shit, judgment, the cold. Probably, but if you're walking on your feet barefoot, if you're walking barefoot, you're going to be getting warmth in your feet anyway, I feel. They're not going to get that cold. Whenever I've smelt a smelly foot, it's because of the sock. The foot gets too warm in the sock and gets overheated, I would say. I haven't smelt a smelly foot in a while now. I don't know if that's my sense of smell or if feet are losing. I don't know what it is, but... So the benefits of walking barefoot seem to be that it improves your gait, so it brings your foot back to its natural shape, I guess, or brings it in line. It's good for mental health and for feeling present, to have the feeling of the earth under your feet. It's gets good blood flow to your feet. Does the blood flow not go there anyway with shoes on? I don't know. Your mental health won't be too good if people are slagging you though, would it? You would get a lot, especially living in where I live, Blanchardstown, you'd be getting some looks but I'm feeling like I want to do it. It's something that I'm seriously considering, is starting a barefoot group. A barefoot walking club. I think it started from a TikTok video that I saw of a girl, a woman, a single mother she was on the tube in London and everybody was just on their phones, and she just got this like realization of like, what am I doing here? She's like, I haven't seen my child in 9 hours and I'm just sitting here on this thing with all the people on their phone, and my kid is with a stranger every day of the week for 9 hours. What am I doing? Why is everyone she's like, why is everyone wearing these squidgy shoes under their feet? And I was like, that's kind of, but yeah, she's kind of right. But that's how the talk got started anyway. And then I searched the health benefits of walking barefoot. I really got thinking about walking barefoot. In theory, a great idea. In practice, I don't know. I have ran on the beach barefoot a few times. That's a different story though, during the summer. But I'd say summer walking barefoot a lot more straightforward, and probably would get less judgment than walking barefoot in the winter time. But I wonder would they let you into pubs and stuff barefoot? Sure, who'll be looking? The barman doesn't see your feet, does he really? I know there's flat sole shoes as well. They're supposed to be good, but I just think, no, I'd rather go with the foot out. I tell you who'd be delighted. Foot fetishists. That could be are they able to hide their... yeah, who knows? Like, the judgment you could be getting could be just a foot fetishist fancying you. You're out walking barefoot, trying it out. You think everyone's looking at you going, what is that weirdo doing? But really it's people with foot fetishes going, ooh, about time. My time has come. Now you're talking and walking. Anyway. So that was that search. Health benefits of walking barefoot. I don't know what you'd call it if you start a movement. Barefoot movement. I know that a lot of people in India, a lot of barefoot. I think they don't really have shoes though. Maybe that's why. New Zealand it said that a lot of people in New Zealand walk barefoot. There's hundreds of millions of people that walk barefoot already. But for some reason in Western society it's looked down upon. And shoes are actually seen as quite stylish. So it's just something to think about. The next one is, how many sets of triplets is there in Ireland? So this originated from when I actually put a video out on Instagram last year, maybe 2 years ago. I've lost track of time, I don't know. And I did it as a joke on stage before. I was in this pub in Milltown in Galway, beautiful town. And I was sitting in I was after eating food with my brother and sister-in-law and my nephew. They left. I stayed to watch Man United match, and I saw a woman sitting at the bar. I was just sitting there having a blackcurrant watching the match. I was driving. So for some reason I just started imagining if there was three of her. This is how jokes come to me. It's so weird. It's just strange scenarios enter my head in a situation, and then I think, wow, imagine if that happened. Maybe that's just a thought, I don't know, but I came up with a story then of me walking into a rural pub, approaching a set of triplets and saying to them, how are you girls? See, when it's just your imagination, you can say what you want. You can be as confident as you want. That's the beauty of imagination. So the situation was, the scenario was me, dressed to kill, shoes on, winkle pickers probably, walking into a pub. The three girls are there. They're identical and they're all really beautiful. I take a look at them and I say, "Hey girls," and they kind of look over, and then I'm like, right, I won't be able to do this unless I have a few drinks. So even in my imagination, I had to have a few drinks on me to chat up these women. And I thought, look, I fancy them all. Surely one of them will fancy me. Like, do triplets all have the same taste in men? I don't know. So I come back after about 4 pints in me, a bit of courage. And I'm like, how are you girls? Care to dance? There's no music on even in this scenario. Well, there is. Let's imagine there is. The first song that entered my head there was "And Then I Go and Spoil It All by Saying Something Stupid Like I Love," and I'm waltzing with her. And we talked about jiving before on the podcast. Jiving is a very popular style of dancing in Ireland. You may not know this, but it is. I've mentioned it before, that Kilconnelly, the Wild West Country Fest. I think it's called the Wild West Music Fest now. I don't know why that was changed. But, my God, they're mad for the jiving. You got to jive to survive there. I mean, this woman approached me when I was there before, and she was very good looking a few years ago, and there was none of this like, "What's your name? Where are you from?" And she just comes over. "Oh, how are you?" She approaches me and she's like, "Oh, can you dance?" I said no, and she's like, "Right, good luck." So it's a currency. So anyway, I would jive with her. Wagon wheel maybe would be on in my head. Anyway, the way that the thing played out in my imagination was they all say no. And then I go, "Oh yeah, you women are all the same." Don't ask me why that scenario came into my head. I don't know. Um, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about reintroducing that joke into my comedy set, and then I thought, is it believable? Because jokes like that, when you're telling a story, they have to have like a grain of truth in them, I think. Or else people are like, "Oh, what are you on about?" So, and I'd obviously have to make it a lot shorter than what I just said there. But how many sets of triplets is there in Ireland? There was 11 born in 2022. I think it went up to 31. It tripled. No, 33. Sorry. My God, my maths is terrible. I was really hoping that it would have tripled. That would have been really funny. But I think it went from 21 to 11. So you're looking at about an average, about 15 or 16 sets of triplets are born each year in Ireland. And then I thought I'd love to get triplets on the podcast, ask them about what it's like. But I don't have enough mics. I wonder, could you edit it in such a way that like there was just... No, you couldn't. But yeah, I'd love to hear that perspective of what it's like being triplets. I don't know about the male female stats. How many are male? How many are female? Is there triplets that are like one man and two women, two women and a man? You know, it couldn't be, could it? I don't know. Maybe I need to check that out. But that's what it was basically. I was looking up how many sets of triplets there was because of a joke, a hypothetical scenario where I chatted up triplets, got refused, and then I said, "You women are all the same." Yeah, and I have that story on my Instagram. People seem to like it. It got a lot of views or whatever. So there must be something to it. By the way, if you're watching or listening on Spotify, please follow and give 5 stars. That would be fantastic for the show. If you're on Apple, give a 5-star rating. That'd be brilliant. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share if you can. That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, that was that one. It's my own little jingle there. On to the next one. Agencies looking for Santa. So this came about when I was doing a show last week, stand-up comedy, and I have a couple of jokes about looking like Santa. Even though he has all white hair, and his hair and his beard kind of, they come together, don't they? And he wears a hat, obviously, and a red suit. I can't wear red this time of year. It's just asking for, you know. Anyway, I'm wary of how it's going to go. in honestly, like 10, 20 years, if I keep going the way I'm going, I've put on a bit of weight in the last few years. I've grown a beard, and I am quite jolly. So I'm worried about how it's going to be in 10 years. I'm going to have to do something. But you'd have to be even a moderately thin guy with white beard and white hair still would have the Santa Claus look-alike thing. And I'm never going to be like that. I'm bulky at the best of times. So it's like, am I heading down that road where I'm going to be that guy? Anyway, I was doing the gig and I had a couple of jokes about it being a tough time of year to look a bit like Santa Claus. And fella came up to me after, Ed, lovely fella. He's a guy on the Dublin comedy scene. Good comedian as well. Comes up to me and he's like, I thought he was going to say, Jace, that was a great set, you know. That was a good jokes there. But he was like, would you like to do some work as Santa Claus? Like, I know a guy who's hiring Santa Clauses for shopping centres. It's not what you want to hear after a stand-up gig, you know. You're hoping someone's going to be like, an agent is going to come over and be like, man, I love that, like, I love your jokes. Not like I love your look. Do you want to do Santa, you know? Anyway, I love milk and cookies as well. Like, that's the thing. He likes them, doesn't he? But I don't know. Shave the head. I'll probably have to shave the head anyway. So that rules me out, doesn't it? Shave the head is the answer. There's always a positive to everything. You can find it somewhere. But yeah, being jolly is not. I've talked about knowing that you're jolly. I look at myself in pictures of myself on stage as well, and I know that I'm jolly. My smile is jolly. Like, look. Sometimes you might do that as well by accident. No, not like that. Ho 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 ho. It could happen, so I have to avoid that. He doesn't have a mullet either, Santa. So anyway, I'd rather be jolly than be a prick as well, you know. To be honest. Happy Christmas anyway. Alright, the next search. This was an interesting one. This is about the origin of the lead singer of U2's name, Bono. His name is Paul Hewson, really. I got thinking about it I started listening to a song called The Sweetest Thing again recently. It's just a lovely song. Whatever you think of Bono or U2, I think you're a monster if you don't like this song. uh, but it's lucky I'm not a roofer, isn't it, as well? Oh, I got an old Nixer on Christmas Eve there. Someone's roof was leaking. You see me on the roof. It's him. Anyway, Bono. So he has a song called The Sweetest Thing, and the video is amazing. I've started listening to Boyzone as well lately. I've found... Has this happened to anyone else? Like, so I'm 37 now, and some songs that I didn't have any feelings for whatsoever when I was younger, when they came out, when I was like 10, 11, I'd be like, I'd hear them on the radio, I'd be like, oh no, like, just no, I don't care about that song. And now I hear it again in my 30s and I'm like, oh yeah, like how bizarre, that song. And Weezer and U2, like the Sweetest Thing, all these kind of songs, I don't know, they're hitting the part of me that I don't think I had when I was that age. And I like it, I embrace it. But anyway, his name, Bono, came from the Latin word Bono Vox. Sorry, yeah, it's a Latin phrase that means good voice. And basically, there was a hearing aid shop on O'Connell Street in Dublin called Bono Vox. And Bono was in a Dublin street gang with Gavin Friday. I've heard that name. I read the name and I was like, oh, I've heard. I don't know. Gavin Friday. I don't know where his name came from, but probably it would be the day of the week, wouldn't it? But Bono was in a Dublin street gang called Lipton Village, and they were an early 1970s youth group in Dublin, consisting of a few different members. And Bonovox was a hearing aid shop on O'Connell Street that also meant good voice, and that's how Bono got his name. He didn't like it originally, apparently, but that's how it came about. And it's just occurring to me now. I just remember now why I searched his name was because I was looking for where the nickname for the Edge came from. Like that could be a number of things. I heard a rumour that his name was the Edge, that he was nicknamed the Edge because he thought there was a flat earth. That's not talked about on Google. It was a myth. It's not real. Maybe it was something to do with his preferences, so to speak. Edging is won't get into it. People don't like when I talk about dirty stuff. None of those. It was nothing to do with those things. The reasons behind. He was in the Lipton Village group as well, and it seems that there's a common theme here that the people in this Lipton Village group gave very deep nicknames to their members. Like, so the Edge is named the Edge. Apparently, there's a number of reasons. Because of his physical appearance, like it's like myself, a good jawline, pointy edge. I don't know. His guitar style was edgy, apparently. I don't know how they could. That's not a strong correlation, is it? Edge. And his personality observed from the Edge. To me, this is a bit wishy-washy. It's Google, I think, covering up something. So I think this could be a cover-up by Google regarding the Edge. And I think maybe he is called the Edge because he believes in flat earth. Just trying to put these things together here, but I think that's could be the real truth behind the nickname for the Edge. There was one more little search. Hold on. There was one more little search. It was how many calories in 4 chicken thighs. I've been eating a lot of chicken thighs lately with barbecue glazing on them. I just can't get enough of them. It's never happened to me before. I've never been addicted to chicken before, but we're in it. I mean, it's a good thing to be addicted to. It's not the worst. So I'm not trying to. I don't know if there's a club for people who are addicted to chicken. It's a lot of protein. It's tasty. I love chicken skin, so I'm not complaining. Anyway, that's been my Google searches for this week. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you have too. It brings me back to when I used to do it just on audio. Hopefully enjoyed it. Again, like I say, please do all you can for the podcast. There's a buy me a coffee link as well if you want to donate. That would be lovely. It's in the episode description. Follow and 5 stars on Spotify. Like and subscribe and share on YouTube and Spotify. Give 5 stars on Apple or wherever you're listening. That would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, there is dozens more episodes like this back in not on YouTube. They're on Spotify and Apple and the other places. Just audio. You might enjoy them. Go back and listen to a few of them. That's it from me for today's episode. I will see you again soon with my good man Dylan McDonough. Goodbye.